Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me once again on another new vlog. I'm in an area today called the Longmynd in Shropshire in the centre of England, and the scenery around here is absolutely beautiful. But I've come here really for two reasons. Firstly, the main reason is to get out and have a walk around this beautiful scenery, but the other reason, my second reason, and really the reason I wanted to be out today, is because I bought a new camera. There's also a new lens that came with it as well. It's only a kit lens, so I'm not sure about how good the lens is going to be. I'm currently using it to film, and I'm not totally sure if it's a wide enough angle lens for filming. I'm having to hold the camera right out in front of me at fully arm's length, so my arm is fully extended out and you can just about get me into the frame of the shot, as you can see. I do have another lens which is wider that I can swap over onto this camera and record video footage using the wider angle lens, but I just wanted to see if this lens was any good. You let me know in the comments if you think this particular lens that I'm using at the beginning of this vlog is a wide enough angle for vlogging. I'm not sure it is, but you let me know. Anyway, I'm going to make my way up to a place called Lightspout Waterfall, which is just ahead of me on the path. This is a National Trust area, so it's all waymarked, and there are several different walks around here, and I think I might even try and cut off one walk onto a second walk to make my walk a little bit longer, but I'll see how I get on when I get further up to the waterfall, and once I've been up there then I'll make a decision. But for now I'm going to head up to Lightspout Waterfall. So I've just stopped here because I wanted to catch my breath first thing, but also because I've come to a confluence in the path and in this babbling brook down to my left hand side. So what I'm going to do now is choose the left hand path up here behind me and head up towards Lightspout Waterfall. I believe the sign just across there will tell me that Lightspout Waterfall is in that direction, and it takes about 20 minutes to get to. But in the meantime, I'm really getting annoyed with this lens. I just don't think it's wide enough at all, so before I shoot my next piece of footage I'm going to switch my lenses out, but I will be using this lens again at some point later today. That's a bit better, isn't it? I don't know how well you can hear me over the sound of this running water, but I'll do my best for you anyway. I've just got to the waterfall, which is just behind me, and I've stopped here to have a sandwich, a baguette from Greggs, and once I've eaten my lunch I've changed the lens over on the camera, and I'm going to head up now to the top of the waterfall. Hopefully I'll take a couple of photos of the waterfall on the way up, if I can find a decent composition there. But once I get to the waterfall itself, there's a set of steps, some rocky steps that lead up the side of the waterfall, and I've just watched a few other people coming up and down those steps, and they look a little bit sketchy and a little bit awkward to me, so I'm going to give it a try anyway. But first of all I'll take some shots of this waterfall, and then I'll talk you through some more about the camera that I've bought and the lens that came with it. So that is the waterfall there in front of you. I'm going to stop here and see if I can take a shot, and then I'm going to head up the steps behind me, which look very sketchy to say the least, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. So guys, I walked up a very sketchy set of steps after passing that waterfall. To say they were sketchy was a bit of an understatement, to be honest. They were wet, almost slate-like stone. I think they probably were slate in fact. Quite flat, but very wet and slippy, and also very small spaces to put my feet. So I found it quite difficult and sketchy to get through that spot. But I came out onto a plateau at the top, and I've walked around in a kind of a circular route around the top of there for the last few minutes. And it looks as though I'm now following a path back down the opposite side of the away from the waterfall if you remember at the beginning of the vlog, I was talking about the lens that I wasn't very happy about vlogging with, and I was going to change it. Well, at that point I got to the confluence of the path and a little bit of a river, and the path went in two directions, one up to the left hand side and one up to the right hand side. Well, it appears now that I'm back on a path which will head back down the right hand side of there. It's good news in a way, because it means I'm nearly at the end of the walk, but it's also bad news because I haven't taken very many photos just yet, nor have I recorded very much vlog yet, so hopefully there'll be a few more sights to see on the way down this path. I think there is going to be a nice composition just as I head around this bend, so fingers crossed I'll get a shot then. So that appears to be the composition just behind me that I was hoping to see. It is a bit breezy, as you can see by my hood blowing around my head, but yeah, that's the composition just behind me there. I'm loving the layers and the light and the slight mistiness in the atmosphere that's creating some really interesting shapes and lines that I want to try and capture. So I'm going to get the camera out and shoot with a 14 to 35mm f4 L series lens, probably around about 14mm or so, because I want to capture everything here, right from the very foreground right over to the background. It's not very obvious what the composition is yet, but I'm kind of looking down into a valley where I'm going to be walking anyway, and that's the shot that I want to capture with all those hills and peaks behind it. So hopefully this one works out. I'm going to stop here and get the camera out, and then I'm going to try and take a shot, and then I'll head on. So I realised I hadn't told you what my new camera is. Well, it's this bad boy here, the Canon EOS R8, and it's basically a very slight upgrade in a lot of ways to the Canon EOS RP that I'm currently using to film. I've been using the RP for about 3.5 years now, and I love it, don't get me wrong, I'll be keeping it, but I just fancied an upgrade to what I'd already got. And so the R8 became available at the price within my budget. So I managed to get myself a copy of the Canon EOS R8. The photos that I've taken today are with the R8, and the video has been shot using the full HD mode in 1080p in the Canon EOS RP. So I've been using the R8 solely for photography today. However, there are some pretty impressive video features in the camera, and I think I'm going to do another video all about the differences between the RP and the R8, just so I can get a few things straight about the reasons why I decided to upgrade to the R8. But for now I'm just going to keep walking down this path here, which I think is on the opposite side of the ravine from where the waterfall is, and this should take me back to the starting point of the walk this morning, hopefully. But also I'm a bit conscious about time, so I don't know how often I'll be able to stop and capture more images, but I do really want to take a few more shots with the R8 before I leave here, so I'll see how I get on. I've managed to get myself back to the confluence of the two paths and the little stream running through it. It's been quite an interesting walk, I've really enjoyed it, but I found here when I got back that there's quite a nice image, a nice composition of some of the little miniature cascades coming down the hill from the ravine, leading up to towards where that waterfall was further up. So this is an interesting spot, and I think I'm going to take a shot here because it really tells the story of the walk itself. Those cascades kind of lead you towards the cascading waterfall further up, and that's what I want to try and sort of get across here. But also in the Canon EOS R8 there's a brand new HDR mode for photography that I've tried out on one of the other images, and it works brilliantly. I'm going to try it out here at this spot as well, so I'm going to give this one a go as well now. I'm almost back at the start of where I began my walk first thing this morning, so I'm quite happy about that. I've really enjoyed today's walk. The main focus of the walk, first of all, was the waterfall, actually getting out and having a walk, but also trying out the Canon EOS R8, and I think I've just about covered every base with that today, so I'm quite happy with how the vlog has turned out. But there's just not been very much video footage or very many photos because it was quite a short walk, although quite a challenging one. But there wasn't really that much to photograph other than the waterfall itself and one or two landscapes along the way. So hopefully you've enjoyed the vlog, hopefully you enjoy the images. I know that there are also at least a couple more images along the path here on the way back to where I started my walk. And I also know that when I get back there, there's a nice little cafe that I can pop in and have a cup of coffee and possibly a pastry of some kind. I think I deserve one after that walk, quite a challenging walk today. So like I say, if you've enjoyed the vlog, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.